Hello and welcome to this edition of CharmTV's Game Changers. I'm Mark Clark. On this episode of Game Changers, we'll dedicate the entire show to spotlighting The Avenue, CharmTV's new youth-focused talk show. Our guests today are Kyla Jackson and Kamari James from CharmTV's new youth talk show, The Avenue. Kyla and Kamari are both high school seniors and part of a team of young people who are working to produce The Avenue for CharmTV. Welcome to the show, y'all.
Hello.
Thank you.
Hi.
Well, let's start with you, Kyla.
Okay.
So, a hot new show, talking to the young people.
Yep.
Tell us what to expect.
Well, you're going to expect a lot of young people as a group together working on the show called The Avenue, obviously. We have some teenage hosts such as ourselves. We have teenage producers, teenage people that, promote the show. And it's going to be really fun. And we're going to be talking about the hottest topics in Baltimore, good and bad. So stay tuned.
Okay, so this is good. I didn't realize that. So the young people are every aspect of the show will be handled by the youth.
Yes.
So we really will get a perspective from you.
Yes.
So Kamari, have you met Kyla before? Tell us about that process.
No, I've never met Kyla before. We met the first day when we started. We both did the auditions, and I met her at the day after, the week after.
So was it your smooth voice, man, that got you the spot? What was it about you, man? What made him fall in love with you, man?
No, I found out about this opportunity through another program that I was doing with Johns Hopkins, and they said that I might be great for this position that they had open for me, and so I decided to take it.
So Kyla, who's serious, who's goofy, who's loud, who's quiet? Are you both the same? Are you still figuring it out?
I think we're still trying to figure it out. It's still too early to tell.
So the energy, the thing about, with young people, the young people of today are different than in my day. Yeah. You guys are hopping on issues. You are very active on social media. Will there be a social media aspect to the show? Yes.
Well, we do have a social media account that we will promote for our show. And that's how we get in contact with a lot of our news stories that we will be able to produce later on in the future for our upcoming shows.
And so tell me, Kamari, what year are you in?
I'm a senior.
And Kyle, I think you also are a senior.
Yes, I am.
So this is, okay, so this is, it's go time. Yes. What are young people talking about?
Today, I think we're talking about social media. We're talking about trending topics that happen in a classroom that make us either feel safe or unsafe. And we're talking about just how to get our voices heard, I think.
And Kyla, with so much stuff going on with social media, you're like a generation of, you probably don't remember when there wasn't social media, right?
No, I don't.
You probably never recall that, right? So us old school people, we remember that. How do you think that makes your life different than it was for our life? As far as since you were born, in a sense, social media has been there to promote and have conversations about. How do you think it's changed your lives? I
think it's changed our life for the better, because some topics that we find on social media you don't see on the regular news. You get to see a whole bunch of people's perspectives on tons of different things that you don't see on the news, and I think that's very needed nowadays.
So Kamari, how do you think it will work with the young people? Everybody has kind of their ideas of what they think is hot and what's not. How do you think it's going to work with you guys figuring that all out?
I think when we come together and we hear everybody's ideas and opinions, especially our youth team and the adults working with us, we pick the best ideas out of everything. And that's how we go about things. I
always tease my kids because I think your generation is so armed with so much information that my kids actually beat us in arguments. So sometimes we just be like, just do it because I said so. But there's a difference between having the information and actually really living the information, right? How do you notice that? Because you guys, you talk with young people all the time. You're a young person. Do you notice that everyone kind of has a take, but they haven't necessarily really lived it?
Yeah.
And what impact do you think that will have? Like when you're doing a show, how do you deal with that on a show?
I think it's just best that we just get our voices out, honestly. I mean, we're young. We can't vote yet, but eventually we will be able to. But the fact that we could just, let people hear our voices on certain issues and topics is a big part of it. It's a big step.
I love that answer because I think you're right. I think hearing the voice is the first step. And I think, that's something that you guys are doing as a group. We're seeing young people voice their, I thought it was interesting with what's going on with the young people who are challenging the politicians. Some of the young people even saying that, hey, look, we're young, right. We can't vote, but here's my take. And I think that's what's so great about this show. You guys can put those voices on display. You can talk about it. Well, will there be interviews? Will there be on location stuff? Will it be mainly in studio? Break down the show.
Well, there will be some interviews, yes. There will be some on-site stuff, as well as some in-studio stuff as well. So you'll guys get a taste of all of it.
And Kamar, what's your passion?
My passion is filmmaking, actually.
Okay.
And when I, stumbled upon this opportunity, I took it, and I think that it's great. And to impact your community also within filmmaking, my passion is great.
We're going to continue that conversation about passions. Okay, we're going to take a break and be back with more Game Changers. And we're talking with Kyla Jackson and Kamari James from CharmTV's new youth talk show, The Avenue. So, Kyla, what makes The Avenue unique? I'm going to ask you both that question. What makes The Avenue unique? Different, special, stand out?
Well, what makes The Avenue stand out, what makes it unique is that, of course, obviously, it's ran by the youth, and I think that's a really important thing. And we are all predominantly Black, African American. I think that's an important part of it too. I also believe that us living in Baltimore, which people call it like the dangerous, most city, and ever.
Also the coolest city.
True. But Baltimore, other than it being, The Wire, The Wire has this negative connotation, and I think that The Avenue will give it a more positive connotation, because we're talking about the good and the bad. No city is perfect, but, we have our good and our bad.
And it's going to represent that.
Exactly.
Okay, Kamar, your take on that.
I feel as though some things are more important said by youth. Like when I would watch the news, it was clicking, but it wasn't. And so when I see videos where youth and young people, and they're talking about serious situations, it makes me connect to them more. And so I think that's what we're going to try to do, and that's what makes it unique a little bit. Even the stories that we go through, the stories that we pick, all from social media and trending topics and things like that. So it's just the way we get them and the stories that we do, Yeah.
So, Kamari, I feel like a lot of times when I'm talking with young boys, or young men, I should say, there's a feeling that, and they actually said it to me, you don't understand us. What don't I understand? What don't grown-ups, or let's say, men especially, not understand about young men?
Well, I think it has to do with you being around adults most of your life, and how they control you and things like that, especially parents. And sometimes you have to get away from that, and that's when the youth comes in. Even if it's listening to a story or finding out about something from a topic or whatever, it's important that you also hear a youth side to things, rather than an adults who are supposedly to know the whole thing or the whole situation.
So how can the young people get involved?
Well, we actually have a live studio audience that people are able to come to and see. Tickets are free. You can actually get the tickets online on CharmTV's website. So yeah.
Now that is innovative. I like that.
Yes.
And I think it kind of creates like energy around, because now are you guys ready for the stardom that happens with this?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
ready.
That's what we waiting for, you
Yeah.
know.
Kamari, you ready?
That's what we waiting for. Yeah.
You know, it's interesting because I love the fact that we have the perspective, the male-female perspective, and I do think that the young people do need a sounding board, and the fact that it's so local, you know. And you know, are your friends? Are your friends excited about it?
Yeah.
Do they know about it?
Yes.
Okay, so tell us how that whole process went.
Well, when I told one of my friends, she was very happy and very supportive. So she will be there at the live studio audience, of course.
That's your ride or die
Yeah,
right there.
yeah, that's my best friend.
And then what about you, Kamari?
It was basically the same story with me. I told one of my friends, and they were very happy for me. They felt like it was a good opportunity for me, especially for my passion of filmmaking. Yeah.
And you know what? With that, you mentioned passion. When I talk to young people, I think passion is a big part of it. You know, are there? You know, we know that this is entertainment, but Kamari, what's something that you're trying to? Are there some seeds that you want to plant in some of the young people that are watching, since you have a certain degree of success?
Yeah, so the stories that we use and that we tell people's stories that haven't been heard or overlooked. I feel like me being creative, like I like to be creative, I want to be as creative as I can with their story, and I want to honor their story and bring out the best in it. And so, especially within youth, and to see how powerful youth can be, and it's not just adults who can do these great creative technical things.
We're going to take a break, and Kyla, we're going to hear your side. What seeds are you planting? Coming up next on Game Changers. And we'll continue our conversation with Kyla Jackson and Kamari James from CharmTV's new youth talk show, The Avenue. So I already asked Kamari about his passion. Kyla, tell me about your passion.
Well, I aspire to be a broadcast journalist.
Okay, check.
Yeah. That's what my major is going to be when I go to college in the fall. So hopefully that'll take me many, many places.
I love the fact that you're starting off early.
Yes.
And that's one thing that you young people definitely have at your disposal with these different platforms. You can use your phone, have your own show, but you guys have your own show.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. Man, so you guys really are going to go there on your show. You're going to really take us to the reality of some of our things here in Baltimore that really do need to be addressed. I think that's brilliant because we never get the perspective of the young people. You know, and so, what did you learn about yourself when you guys, in doing this show and as a team, what did you guys learn about yourself?
I learned about how powerful my voice was and how powerful other teens and youth voice could be, and how so many stories are just like statistics, and it's like they don't even look at it. It's like a 5-second thing where you tell about it and then it goes to the next one. And it's like, why can't we go into detail about some of these things? But, just that goes back into the voice. So,
Kyla?
I learned that this is something that I really love to do, get a deeper insight on people's stories and just what they could share even more about it. So yeah, that's what I learned about myself.
Like you said, you're tapping into the real power, because it really is something that, what I think is interesting is like, and not just for young people, like I would love to see that, you know what I mean? Like, because we don't know what's on the minds of young people most of the time. And the world, you guys come from a totally different world. You're up against a whole different world than we were. And so I think this really will benefit, don't be surprised if you have a bunch of old people like me watching the show too. And again, I think it's great for, this is what you want to do. So this is like being a doctor and being in the surgery and getting a chance to see, what that's about. And the same thing for you, Kamari, you want to be a movie maker. Let me ask you this. Did you, can you do a lot, can you use television almost the same way that you use movies now?
Yes, I do think so. I don't really think there's a difference other than the length of time within the project.
And so you guys mentioned your team. Were everybody's kind of coming together for the first time? And so you're getting to learn each other. Exactly. How is that feeling as far as the teamwork and getting, you guys have kind of done something on your first show. Kyla, what was that like?
Well, we all come from different backgrounds. We all go to different schools. However, we're all from Baltimore. So, of course, that would be an issue that we all is pretty, close to our hearts.
Kamari, what do you think about the young people who are responding to the gun situation, and they're going and talking to their politicians? And it really is kind of a wave, a movement for young people. Are you guys watching this? Are young people tapped in on this? Like, yo, these people are making a big difference. What's your take on it?
I think a lot of people are watching it, and they're starting to become more aware of it, and they just want to be heard, so to speak. So within everything that's going on, people just want to be heard, especially youth and teens.
What are I know the social media that I use. What are the social medias that you guys are using out there? Is there a favorite? Is there a top two?
Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter.
Snapchat's still around?
Yeah.
Snapchat for me.
Interesting. So, and again, you'll be using those for your show.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like the trending piece that you guys are tapping into.
Mm-hmm.
Kyla, Kamari, we're looking forward to the Avenue. And we have a special treat. We got a little portion of the show we're going to show as we wrap up. Is that okay?
Yes.
We got rights?
How did you get that?
Hey, don't ask questions, man. Thank you so much for watching Game Changers. And here's a little bit of the Avenue. Do you know a game changer in Baltimore? Send us your ideas to CharmTV at baltimorecity.gov.